Think about it. Last night you were sitting on the couch and you yawned. A big, long, uncontrollable yawn. And your dog, right across from you, did the same thing a few seconds later. Their mouth opened, their eyes narrowed, their whole body stretched and relaxed. Did you notice it? You probably laughed. Maybe you'd never even thought about it before. But here's what I want you to know. That moment isn't a cute coincidence to be laughed off. Researchers have been studying this small event for over a decade. And what they found reveals far more than just why your dog responds to your yawn. It opens a door to one of the most fascinating findings in cross-species empathy, bonding, and social synchrony. Your dog is mirroring you. And that mirroring is not random. Let's start with the fact that yawning is contagious, because this phenomenon isn't even fully understood in humans. Humans catch each other's yawns. This is a known fact. You see someone yawn, or just read the word yawn, or think about it, and you feel the urge yourself. This reflex is so powerful that many people reading this right now may be feeling the urge to yawn. But why? For decades, researchers thought it had to do with tiredness, boredom, or the need for oxygen. None of those turned out to be right. The strongest current theory is the social yawn theory. Contagious yawning is a sign of social attunement, a reflection of the capacity to enter the same physiological rhythm as others, to sense their inner state, to become emotionally synchronized with them. And contagious yawning doesn't happen equally in everyone. Research consistently shows that those most susceptible to contagious yawning score highest on measures of empathy. They're affected by family members, by close friends. Much less so by strangers. So contagious yawning is a measure of social bond. And your dog does it. In 2008, Atsushi Senju and colleagues at Birkbeck College in London published one of the most striking dog studies ever conducted. They brought 29 dogs into a room. Each dog was exposed to a human stranger who either genuinely yawned or simply opened their mouth. They measured the result: how many dogs were affected by the genuine yawn, and how many by the plain mouth opening. 72% of dogs were affected by the genuine yawn. Almost none were affected by the plain mouth opening movement. This is a critical distinction. The dogs weren't just copying a mouth movement. They were distinguishing a genuine yawn, with all its features, the sound, the movement of the facial muscles, the timing, from a fake movement. And they only responded to the real one. This isn't a reflex. This is recognition. So why can dogs make this distinction? The answer draws on research into mirror neurons. Mirror neurons are a class of neurons discovered in monkeys in the 1990s, and since then one of the most exciting findings in neuroscience. These neurons activate both when an action is performed and when it is observed. In other words, whether you're doing something or watching someone else do it, the brain runs the same circuit networks. Mirror neurons are thought to be directly linked to social imitation, empathy, and the capacity to feel another's emotional state from within. And dogs, through 15,000 years of coevolution with humans, have developed this system with extraordinary sensitivity specifically toward human social signals. When your dog yawns, they are in all likelihood reflecting your inner state to some degree. Your tiredness, your relaxation, your state of winding down. But there is research that goes even further, and it takes things somewhere much more interesting. In 2012, Pernille Råvang and colleagues conducted a study in Sweden with 35 dogs. The question was simple: are dogs more affected by a stranger's yawn or by their owner's yawn? The result was unambiguous. Dogs were significantly more affected by their owner's yawn. The rate of response to strangers was much lower. And this finding is in perfect alignment with research on contagious yawning in humans. Humans are also more affected by the yawns of family members and close friends than by those of strangers. The closer you are, the stronger the bond, the higher the contagion. Your dog's yawning goes beyond being an indicator of empathy capacity. It becomes a measure of the strength of the bond between you. In 2013, Teresa Romero and colleagues at the University of Tokyo published the most comprehensive study in this research series. Conducted with 25 dogs and their owners, this study investigated not only whether dogs were affected by yawning but whether the response was a genuine empathy response or simply a stress response. Contagious yawning had been thought to potentially be stress-related. Some researchers had suggested dogs yawned due to anxiety. Romero's team measured the dogs' heart rates to test this. If the dogs were yawning due to stress, their heart rates would have risen. They didn't. The dogs' heart rates didn't change after they showed a contagious yawn response to their owner, or in some cases even dropped slightly. This strongly suggests that contagious yawning in dogs is not a stress response. It is far more consistent with the social empathy response observed in humans. When your dog sees you getting tired, without panicking, without becoming anxious, they simply yawn alongside you. They are just there with you. Now let's take a step back and think about what these findings mean as a whole. Contagious yawning is linked to empathy in humans. It is strongest in the closest relationships. Dogs do it. Dogs do it more with their owners than with strangers. And dogs show no signs of stress when they do it. The combination of these findings strongly suggests that dogs have an empathy-like capacity directed toward their owners. In academic language, this is called an empathy-like response, because it isn't possible to directly measure the dog's inner experience. But the outwardly observed behavior and physiology overlap almost exactly with the empathy response in humans. And this overlap is not coincidence. Dogs have been subject to selection pressure over thousands of years to read human social signals, respond to human emotional states, and synchronize emotionally with humans. Contagious yawning is a small but striking output of that long evolutionary journey. There is also a practical reflection of this research, and it surprises most owners. Your dog is mirroring you, not just in moments of yawning. More broadly, your nervous system affects your dog's nervous system. Cortisol levels, the stress hormone, are synchronized between owners and dogs. Stressed owner, stressed dog. Calm owner, calm dog. Yawning is a visible, concrete, observable moment of that synchronization. When you relax, truly, physiologically relax, your dog sees it, and probably feels it. When you sit down in the evening, when you lie back, when you let go and yawn, your dog registers that transition, and adjusts their own physiology accordingly. Finally, there is a question this research hasn't yet fully answered. Why are dogs so sensitive to human contagious yawning? Are they more sensitive to the yawning of their own species, or to that of humans? A 2014 study revealed something interesting. Dogs do respond to the yawn sounds of other dogs, but the response to their owner's visual yawn is stronger and more consistent. This reflects the asymmetry created by 15,000 years of coevolution. Dogs can socially attune to both their own species and to humans, but their sensitivity to human signals surpasses their sensitivity to signals from their own species, at least in some situations. In other words, your dog has attuned more to you than to other dogs. It's not another dog's yawn that matters. It's yours. Your tiredness. Your relaxation. So tonight you yawned, and your dog yawned too. Most people laugh it off. Share it on social media. Think the dog is cute. But the research is telling you something different. That moment is evidence that your dog is reading you, synchronizing with you, and in all likelihood mirroring you, through a mechanism that strikingly resembles the empathy response between two individuals of the same species. Contagious yawning is a small thing, but there is a big truth inside it. Your dog isn't just in the same room as you. They are in the same rhythm as you. If this changed how you think about the way your dog sees you, subscribe and leave a comment. Next video: why your dog always sleeps in the same spot, and what it says about safety, attachment, and instinct.